Welcome to KQEG and Seven River Sports. I'm your host, Terry Erickson. Each week, an inside look into sports, wellness, and fitness. This week, we're going to take a break from talking to coaches and athletes and turn our attention to something that is very important for everybody, and that's the entire wellness spectrum. Nutrition, weightlifting, bone density, nutrition, you name it, everything in the wellness package. And that brings us to our guest today, which is Nick Althoff, the owner of QuickHIT Fitness. Welcome, Nick.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Well, we met not too long ago, but before we talk about your business, before we talk about the entire wellness package, let's get to know you up close and personal. Who is Nick Althoff?
Yeah, well, so I was born and raised in South Dakota. I was an athlete growing up in high school. I was a multi-sport athlete, actually a four-sport athlete in Yankton High School. I went off to college at the University of Notre Dame, where I actually met my future wife, who was from La Crosse. Is Jennifer Pavella, maiden name, Althoff, and so through my career, we lived in different parts of the country, and we really gravitated back towards La Crosse. We really love what La Crosse has to offer. It's just a really nice hometown to raise your children, to grow old gracefully and really enjoy that. My wife was a Aquinas standout growing up, and her family, including her grandfather, was a very, very well-known athlete within La Crosse community. And so, I'm just happy to be here and to, be able to raise our family here in La Crosse.
Well, we're happy that you're here, and we're going to talk about what you are doing to sort of revolutionize the fitness scene in the La Crosse area. But before we do that, let's go back down the yellow brick road to what inspired Nick Althoff to become a fitness kind of guy.
Yeah, well, I've always enjoyed staying fit. As I mentioned, I was an athlete growing up, and I really, it's one of the keys to living a good quality of life is to really stay fit. I myself have, my wife is a working wife. She works at Mayo Clinic, Franciscan Healthcare, and I've got 5 children. And so what I found over time is it's very hard to balance everything in your job, your fitness level, and stay in good shape. All right, and in college, I actually studied biomechanics, and I did a lot of research on hip replacements and proper mechanics of bones and muscles to make sure that they're operating, they're moving like we should. And quite often, when we don't work out and we become, as we age, we actually get weaker. You start to end up with aches and pains, and oftentimes your body doesn't move the way it should. And so a friend of mine, Patrick Ilfrey, who's the CEO of the company, embarked on this vision of, kind of recreating, there's so many, we have an obesity epidemic in the U.S. Over 40% of the U.S. adults are categorized as obese. And that leads to all kinds of diseases such as diabetes. It leads to joint problems. People have a harder time. We have a very high rate of joint replacement. And so there's a lot of health challenges going on in the U.S. So what we used to be taught with staying in shape was doing 30 minutes or do cardio every day and stay in great shape. Now, for a limited population, that works really well, and it's always good to make sure you're staying active. But there's what was a missing link into how you can effectively stay in shape. There's multiple people, we have multiple clients that really tried everything they could, boot camps, doing CrossFit and doing a lot of cardio, a lot of walking or going to the pool, but they really never saw any difference, all right? And there's a book by the name of Dr. Doug McGough called Body by Science. And he did a lot of research and pulled together a lot of research highlighting some of the benefits of, a thing called high intensity training. And the basic element is that if if you can stimulate your muscle to what it's capable of doing and do it safely, then it actually is what triggers the response to become stronger, healthier, increase your energy levels, your endorphins go up, and so you actually become a much healthier individual, and that just carries on.
Let's explore a lot of that, because I did read some of that same book. And again, our guest is Nick Althoff from QuickHIT Fitness, and you talked about the time constraints of people. And we're going to talk about the benefits of getting involved in this particular mode of exercise, in this particular fitness place. And you talked about like our NASCAR mode of life, because that's really what I feel we're in, time constraints, and everybody's too busy, and that's the excuse a lot of people use, right? Well, one of the benefits of QuickHIT Fitness is it kind of attacks that issue of time constraints.
It does. We typically taught, as an athlete or, even as an adult, if you want to get a good workout, you typically need to go an hour or so and, maybe run 5-6 miles, sometimes just a couple miles, or you walk a good amount of time, really what that comes down to is you need to take that time to do that. And like you said, quite often we put ourselves last. We have the kids, the job, we have everything else, so we need to manage, and so we kind of take a step back and forget about taking care of ourselves. And so when you're able to actually work out effectively, you not only get the health benefits, but you don't have to spend a lot of time doing it. And so it's really it really kind of changes the way you look at exercise. Doing a little bit of cardio is certainly still a good thing. Stay active, but when you look at if you can change that equation and get your muscles again stimulated to the maximum that they can do, but safely, now it allows that time to be done in a very short amount of time.
And that's one of the benefits. I like this quote: "Those who don't find time for exercise will find time for illness."
That's a great one. I mean, how true is that? We put that off. We inevitably it will come back to bite us, and so it's really important to keep that active lifestyle and to stay in shape.
So all of us are looking for that proverbial fountain of youth, and of course it's I'm not sure it's even there. People have went to Florida looking for it, but in your philosophy, in your wellness package, in QuickHIT Fitness, you can look younger each year, as the book I referenced before we went on the air. You can turn back the biological clock. You can, decay is optional. You can live a good life even as you age, like I have, certainly working hard to keep my fitness level up. So you're never too old to become younger, are you?
You never are, right? And I think you're a good example. If you can keep that fitness level, right, you feel good, right? You end up looking better. And it's not just necessarily about the looks, but it's really about just that essence of being who you want to be. We've had clients as old as 84 years old who they were on pain medications. They weren't feeling their best. They weren't stable on their feet, and now they're off the medication. They're feeling 10, 20 years younger. So I don't want to say it's the magic pill. But you certainly, 100% of our clients, get stronger. And as you age, one of the key factors is that we don't do enough strength training in order to overcome some of those effects of aging.
We're going to explore that when we come back, too. I like this quote as we close the first half of the show. It is by Mark Twain. "Age is an issue of mind over matter. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter." How's that? We're going to step aside just for a minute. We'll come back with more with Nick Althoff, QuickHIT Fitness, right after this.
With our busy lives, it's a comfort to know that we can still remember loved ones in a traditional way with a monument. Lewiston Monuments in Lewiston, Minnesota has been helping families purchase a monument for over 4 generations. You'll find a large selection of beautiful granite, marble, and bronze monuments, all at competitive prices. And they're a full-service company, so they also do straightening, cleaning, and repair of monuments. Stop in or call for a no-obligation consultation, or visit lewistonmonument.com for more information.
At Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, we have assembled a championship team
who listens to what your needs are.
We install carrier comfort systems that improve the comfort, efficiency, and the air quality of your home and workplace.
We serve you with highly trained technicians who are prompt, friendly, and honest.
For Gold Star treatment, turn to the experts, Carrier and Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning.
Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, your comfort is our business.
Welcome back to Seven Rivers Sports. Great interview today. We're talking about our overall health wellness with a health and wellness expert. That's Nick Althoff, QuickHIT Fitness. Well, I've done some studies on fitness and just trying to improve my own overall health and ways to prevent the going over the proverbial cliff of being sedentary. And one of the things I looked at was as you age, of course, you're more susceptible to fall and bone density and all the kind of things that you work on specifically at QuickHIT Fitness. And one thing I read that alarmed me was the prone to falling as you age. And the #1 cause of traumatic death that I just recently read among 65 and older population are falls. Not what people might think, automobile accidents and gun safety or whatever else. It's falls, and you've experienced that. And that kind of goes along with the biomarkers that you promote for health. And one of them is muscle mass. One of them is strength. Talk about that.
Yeah, so that's a very good point, and there's actually a study that came out of England last year, and they talked about how as far as falls, and that really comes down to basically being weak as we grow older. A lot of times our balance is you need to be strong in order to stay balanced on your feet. And especially if we're carrying a little bit of extra weight, that becomes just even more dangerous as far as being able to stay strong. And so really the #1 way to overcome that is to be able to do strength training. And often we can't do that because if we do any strength training, we often have to exceed what we're capable of doing and what our muscles are capable of doing in order to grow. And so what we have done is actually adapt that so that the individual is actually control of how much strength they're able to adapt to. And some of the machinery, the robotics that we developed allows that so it doesn't matter what age, if you're a high school athlete or if you're older, elderly, is to be able to adapt to that strength level. And then when you do that, you actually will physically become stronger. What happens is that you're putting the muscle under tension, under stress in both directions, so in pushing and resisting. And what that does is give you the stimulus to actually get stronger. Not only that, but osteoporosis is a big concern for elderly. And that happens because as we start to lose that lean mass, we don't need that muscle, that bone structure anymore. And we start the osteoporosis cycle accelerates. And so by doing this effective strength training, what we've developed, it's actually been proven in the industry that it actually reverses osteoporosis and increases that bone density.
So you actually you customize it, one-on-one customizing. Let's talk about a couple other things that unlocking that hidden potential that you talk about in your particular material. One of them is you talk about increased metabolic rates, fat burning potential. That's part of the whole package.
It is. So as you age, you tend, over the age of 40, you lose about 8% of lean mass every decade. So you can kind of picture as you get older, you get a little bit more frail, right? You kind of lose a little bit of strength, all right? What that means, you essentially your muscle is your furnace, and that's what burns the fuel. That's what burns the calories, and so the only way to actually reverse that process is to create healthier lean muscle. Right? And the only way to do that is to become stronger. And so that's really what we've been able to achieve, is to reverse that process and become stronger. You know, when you lose that muscle, that's also why we get a little bit chilled, particularly in the winter. As you get older, you feel colder because you don't have as, you know, your body's not producing as much heat. And again, goes back to, you know, that weakness. And that's also why people are more prone to injury, you know, sometimes in the shoulders or hips or other areas, because when you do basic everyday activities, you now often exceed what your body's capable of doing, and that results in a muscle strain, which then in turn causes some inflammation, and and the only way really to overcome that is to do effective strengthening to make sure that you're biomechanically correct and you're overall stronger.
A huge benefit too, Nick, is improved cardiovascular fitness, which is a problem throughout this country.
Yeah, you know, we were taught that in order to have good heart health, you need to stay active, do cardio. Often what happens if you don't keep that up is that it's hard to initiate that. And in the Body by Science, it lays out very clearly the studies that show that if you can do effective strength training, not 5-pound weights or you know, just minimal type of strength training, but really effective strength training, getting your muscle stimulated to what it's capable of, the cardiovascular benefit to your heart and to your circulation and overall energy levels is far superior when you're able to do that. When you get to the point, it's called momentary muscular failure, you've reached the maximum your muscle can do, you hit what's called the epoch effect. For you athletes out there, you might know this as the runner's high. All right, if I'm able to give it a workout to a great intensity, you feel great, and it carries with you. And so this whole concept also revolves around, okay, if I can get my muscles stimulated to that epoch effect, you continue to burn those calories and increase your energy level for, you know, 2 to 3 days after the workout. So it really changes, you know, that aspect on what is called effective training.
You talk about mind over matter, shedding the skin, tonality, which is a good one, maintaining, all those things. But let's just quickly, I come into you, I see you, I hear about it, I read about it in the paper, by the way, it was in the Tribune not too long ago, and I come into you and I say, I'm falling apart, I need some help. Can you put Humpty Dumpty back together again? What are you going to say to me?
I would say absolutely. I mean, there's no safer way to go about it. Whether you're pre-diabetic or you've got injury, a lot of people have had hip replacements or knee replacements or at risk for hip or knee replacements. And what we do is we craft a personalized program just for you. You know, it's really not, we don't want to put you inside a box that you're not capable of doing. It's a private setting so that it's really you and the trainer, and you can, we tailor the program. What we always do is, you know, when we do effective strength training, it's not just your muscles that need to strengthen, right? It's your tendons, it's your ligaments, it's your bones, and they all have to work together. So what's very important is that you actually we have a graduated program to get you up that strength curve. And you will actually quickly go up that strength curve, and you feel better overall.
So the main distinction between QuickHIT and maybe a conventional other fitness club would be what?
Yeah, I mean, we have the most time-efficient, safe approach to fitness, and you've got a really guided personal trainer right by your side to make sure that you're doing it correctly. And really, we can get results that no one else can. So it's really, there's really not a comparison out there.
And you have different packages. You have like once a week, or and you go through different phases. And how does that work?
Yeah, so depending on kind of level of the fitness of the individual, most of our clients go 2, sometimes 3 times a week. But we have different range of packages based on where they're at and their fitness level. We like to graduate them. You always need to kind of maintain what that is. So, but we like to graduate up the program.
And you talk about in your promotional materials about the mental aspect too, which we all know. But I like this quote: "In staying young, and going to QuickHIT Fitness, and living a healthy life, a mind lift beats a facelift anytime."
Absolutely, yeah.
How are you going to create a healthier mind when I come to QuickHIT Fitness?
You know, it goes back to what you started off with. You know, if you are able to keep your body healthy, you don't need to have those alternatives. You know, the medical procedures, and in fact, you avoid a lot of illnesses. And this is a study that just came out about the effect of healthy lean mass as one of the best indicators for overall health. So in the end, you're actually going to save a lot of heartache, a lot of pain, a lot of money by staying in good shape.
There's so much printed material out there and all through the media talking about ways to stay young, ways to stay fit, ways to shed pounds and so on. Yet the average American is still sedentary, and what else can we do to promote wellness and fitness in this country?
You know, I think there's two things. One, we are a very busy schedule, right? We're going from activity to activity. A lot of the grandparents now have grandchildren in sports, right, or different activities, and there's just always throughout your life there's a lot to do. So it's important you pick exercises and routines that can make sure that fit with your current daily life. And so I kind of look at my mother as an example. I mean, she took care of, I'm actually one of 10 kids, and she took care of all of us 10 kids. But as she aged, she's suffered from some health issues, and it's really important that that you're able to take care of yourself as well. So
yeah,
a lot of those, as we age, it's really important to pick the right exercises to keep you healthy.
The secret to a long life, according to an author I just read, is to live honestly, eat slowly, and lie about your age. I'm not going to lie about mine, because I reached the golden age of 70, and I'm still as active and full of energy. And
you're looking great.
It's partly because I adhere to what you're saying, but you never know. But QuickHIT Fitness, it's just revolutionized the fitness industry and fitness science, and it does things, it promotes more and has more of a wide range of customized training than probably any place else in this area. You have 2 locations now.
We have 2 locations. We started in downtown La Crosse in the Dorflinger building. The second location was up in Unalaska, and then the franchise has since grown into different parts of the country, from Minnesota, Texas, Florida, and Michigan.
If you're not sure how this could benefit you, just go on the website, look up QuickHIT Fitness, and make an appointment with Nick, and he'll do a good screening and give you some ideas to become more fit, especially as we enter the cold weather, the winter season. It's important to to stay fit, and it'll get you through the winter.
It will.
All right, our guest today, Nick Althoff, who's got something to share as we close the show.
Yeah, before we go, I have a little present here for Terry. So we created this as part of our first anniversary. We have what's called a little T-shirt that says "Born in La Crosse and inspired by me," and it's from QuickHIT Fitness. And each of us has a story to tell, of where we are on our health journey, and we think it's important to recognize that each of you as well has your own story. And so, Terry, we just wanted to give that as a little gift for you.
On my afternoon run after we tape this show, I am going to wear this shirt throughout the running trails in La Crosse, so thank you, Nick.
Awesome.
All right, we'll be back with some closing thoughts right after this.
At Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, we have assembled a championship team
who listens to what your needs are.
We install carrier comfort systems that improve the comfort, efficiency, and the air quality of your home and workplace.
We serve you with highly trained technicians who are prompt, friendly, and honest.
For Gold Star treatment, turn to the experts, Carrier and Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning.
Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning. Your comfort is our business.
When you're faced with the decision of selecting a monument to honor someone dear to you, call Lewiston Monuments for a no-obligation consultation. Lewiston Monument is a full-service monument company serving families in Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin for over 4 generations. You'll find beautiful granite, marble, and bronze memorials, all at competitive prices. Their experts can help you design the perfect and unique memorial. Lewiston Monument. Call today or on the web at lewistonmonument.com.
Well, our postseason high school football coverage concluded on Friday night as we were at Carson Park in Eau Claire for a tremendous game, the semifinals in Division 7. The Edgar Wildcats versus our own Bangor Cardinals. A lot at stake with the winner advancing to the state finals at Camp Randall this weekend. Edgar scored first midway through the first quarter as Connor Wolf found Kyle Brewster open for a 21-yard TD pass. Austin Miller added the PAT, 7-0 after 1. No scoring in the second quarter, so Bangor found themselves down by 1 score going into intermission. Finally, Bangor found the end zone in the third quarter as quarterback Austin Mitchick found Nathan Wiggins for a 15-yard TD. Nathan Crenshaw kicked the extra point. Edgar would answer with a Caleb Hafferman 1-yard run, 14-7 Wildcats after 3. 2 TDs by Edgar in the fourth as Caleb Hafferman scored 2 touchdowns on the ground to complete the scoring in the evening. The first loss for the Bangor Cardinals as they closed the season with a remarkable 12-1 record and another Scenic Bluffs championship. Edgar takes its 12-1 record into the state championship on Thursday versus Blackhawk at 10 a.m. at Camp Randall. Well, the final from Carson Park, the Edgar Wildcats 27 and the Bangor Cardinals 7. I want to conclude this week with a word of congratulations to Mike Schmidt and the UWL Eagles, finishing the season 7-3 and just short of making the postseason playoffs. We enjoyed broadcasting all those games, and we look forward to next year as we cover the UWL football Eagles. Well, that's it this week here on Seven Rivers Sports. I'm your host, Terry Erickson, hoping that you will have an active and a healthy week ahead.